Welcome to a Stretch 45 class here on Overflow. I am Jeanne Edelin. I'm one of the instructors here at Flow, in case we haven't met already. If it's possible, I would like you to have a strap and 2 blocks. Now, I understand that at home you may not have those props, and that's okay. In place of a strap, you can use like a belt or a dog leash. And then in place of the blocks, you could kind of just use anything that could prop you up, anything sturdy, like you could use like a water bottle or something that just kind of can hold you up a little bit, okay? So let's begin lying down on our backs. So when you're ready, just come to lying down and bring the soles of your feet together. You can bring the soles of the feet together first and then come to lying down, or come to lying down and then bring the soles of the feet together. Is definitely your option. If it feels really tight and it's pulling a lot in your hips, it's not comfortable lying here, you can always take your blocks and shove those under your thighs just for that little bit of support. So it'll just kind of support your knees, and then you won't feel such a pull in your hips. Okay, but that's definitely optional. And then maybe soften your eyes to a close and just start to relax, right? Let your head, your neck, your shoulders, everything kind of just start to sink and melt into your space. You could bring your dominant hand to your heart and your other hand to your belly, so you feel this connection back to yourself, back to your purpose, back to your intention. As you lie here in the stillness with the eyes closed, just notice your breath. Inhale, try to push your hands away. And then as you exhale, feel them drop back down. And we're doing nothing more than merely just feeling our breath, feeling where we may have physical tension in the body, and where can you begin to soften and relax. Now, of course, you're not obligated to stay here with the soles of the feet bound together. If you would rather, go ahead and extend your legs out the length of the mat, or lift your knees up so your feet are flat on the mat. That's perfectly okay. Okay, just do what feels safe in your body. This whole time, I want you to do what feels safe for you. Keep breathing here for me. Just kind of see if you feel tense in your physical body. Do you feel like you're gripping and holding on and kind of clenching your muscles? And see if you can relax those a little bit more. Couple more rounds of breath. Good. Go ahead from here. You can allow your eyes to softly float open. You're going to bring your hands to the backs of your thighs. So you can push your knees up. And then go ahead and heel toe your feet open to the width of the mat. So you want kind of the outside edge of your foot, pinky toe side of your foot on the edge of your mat. Bring your arms out to the sides into a T shape. Start to drop your knees to the right. You can take your gaze over to the left. And then you'll lift your knees back up, drop your knees to the left, take your gaze to the right. So just take your gaze the opposite direction of where those knees are going. Just a couple times back and forth. Trying to keep those feet nice and wide so you feel this more in your hips and your side body. Let's do one more time, each side. Make sure you've balanced it out. You went to the right and the left the same amount of times. And then come back to center. Let your knees fall in and touch. Just take a moment here. Breathe. Okay. And then let's pull the knees into the chest. Tuck the chin. Curl up into a little ball. Good. We're just going to roll over to our sides. Use your arms to press you up. Come all the way up into seated position. So I'll turn to face forward. And then you can take any seated position that's comfortable for you. You don't have to sit with your legs crossed, right? You could always sit so that you're kneeling, or you could even sit on your blocks if you want to, okay? And then I want you to lift out through the crown of the head, roll the shoulders back, Okay, inhale, reach your arms up. Drop your right hand towards the mat and then reach your left arm up and overhead. Put a little bend to your elbow. Maybe look up under your left armpit. Maybe you're open enough that you could drop down to your forearm here, or you could stack on that block if you want. Just make sure you're not lifting your left hip up. Kind of try to push your ribs over to the left. Give me one more breath here. And then we'll inhale, reach both arms up, and then we'll just switch sides. Left hand to the mat, reach the right arm over, bend that elbow so the shoulder can relax. Keep pushing your right hip down, maybe look up under your right armpit. Maybe again, you drop down to the block. It's optional. That's just if it helps you get a little deeper into that stretch.
Was a time when I stood in line for love, for love, for love.
Perfect. Big inhale, reach the arms all the way up. We're going to exhale to and twist to your right. So left hand to the outside of your right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale for length. Exhale, look over your shoulder. Yeah, really good. Big inhale, reach those arms up and overhead. Exhale, twist it all the way open to the left side. Good. Glance over that shoulder if you can. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, we're going to release. We're going to come into hands and knees tabletop position so we can turn to face towards the top of the mat. Or, yeah, Liz, you can face into the center if you want. Yeah. So then you can see what's happening. You don't have your back to me. So from here, shoulders stacking in line with the wrist and then the hips in line with the knees. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Take a big inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, roll the shoulders back, lift the head. As you exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, kind of round into the spine. And just flow with your breath. You don't have to be synchronized. We don't have to match anyone. You just match your own breathing. You have been broken, your innocence stolen. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. Let's do one more full round, full inhale, full exhale. Stretch it out. Good. Come back into center with that neutral spine. So you're going to kind of just sweep your right leg out to the side. So you're making like this almost like little kickstand. And then I want you to extend your left leg back, but start to open up to the left, right? So you're facing out to the side. Let your shoulder and your wrist stack. Draw your tailbone down. Reach your left arm up and overhead. Okay. Cannot be covered. Feel this nice long full body stretch. You're not defenseless. Right. And then take a big inhale as you exhale, release. Come back into that hands and knees tabletop position. Maybe sway your hips a little side to side. If you want, you can even look over your shoulder back towards your hip. Okay, and then back to center. And then we'll just switch sides. You'll swing your left leg out to the side, extend your right leg. Push your hips forward and then reach up. I'll turn back to face forward so I don't have my back to the camera. Good. Perfect. One more breath. Reach a little bit more through the fingertips and through the toes to get longer. And then exhale, go ahead and release back to all fours. Good. So from here, from this tabletop position, if it feels okay for you, start to walk your fingertips just out to the sides and then kind of just sway a little side to side. Lean a little bit more into one hand and then the other. Just kind of stretch into those wrists just a little. And then start to turn your hands back to center, back to face forward. And then just flip your right palm to face up. And then try to curl your fingers up into a fist. It's a good wrist stretch. And then switch sides. Perfect. And then come back to all fours. From this tabletop position, go ahead and reach your right leg back behind you, hip height. I want you to go ahead and step that up to the outside of your right hand, okay? You can even turn your toes out a little bit so that it opens wider. And then walk your foot and shift your hips forward a little bit. And then you can use your blocks here. If you want, you can stack up on those blocks. You might even be able to drop down to your forearms here if you want, just to add a little bit more of a stretch. So again, it's just wherever you need to go to feel that stretch in your right hip, okay? Yeah, good. Okay. And then when you're ready, press back up to the palms of your hand. Go ahead and shift back so you're in that tabletop position. Maybe sway your hips a little side to side if that feels good. And then again, we're just going to find our way to center. Extend your left leg back behind you. Step it up to the outside of your left hand. Turn your toes out. Walk your foot forward a little bit if you're going to shift your hips forward a little bit so your knee and your ankle stay in alignment with each other. And then again, you have that option if you would like to come down to your forearms. So different side, just kind of see how that feels a little bit different for you. Breathe into it.
Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know.
One more big breath here. You feel balanced from your right side to your left side. You're going to release palms of the hands to the mat first. You can move your blocks out of the way. Shift back and find tabletop position. Maybe sway your hips a little side to side. Okay, let's go ahead from here. Curl your toes under, lift your hips up and back, and just stretch out into downward facing dog for just a moment. So just try to pull your belly button to your spine, lift your hips, maybe bend your knees, okay? And then maybe try to slowly push maybe one heel at a time closer to the floor.
The only thing that matters now is everything you think of me.
One more breath here. Good. And then again, we're going to shift down into that tabletop position. Go ahead from here and drop all the way down onto your belly and to your forearms. So you come into Sphinx pose. So you want your shoulders in line, your elbows in line. Yeah, shoulders in line with your elbows. And then spread your fingers nice and wide. Press the palms of the hands into the mat. Yep, tops of the feet onto the mat if that feels okay. Roll your shoulders back and lift out through the crown of the head. And even kind of think about like trying to push your chest forward to that space between your shoulders. You can even pull back a little bit with the palms of the hands, kind of gripping, and you'll feel a little bit more of that lift here, okay? If this is pinching your low back, you're struggling, feeling some pain, you can always drop down to crocodile pose, which is just stacking your forearms and resting your forehead, okay?
Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet.
Okay. From here, you're going to start to take your right leg out to the side in kind of like a 90-degree angle. So see if you can keep your knee in line with your hip and then your ankle and your foot, but just kind of relax through your foot. And then you're going to start to melt all the way down. You might stack your forearms, turn your head and rest your head. You might be able to just rest your head all the way down. And you'll come into that half frog pose. Now, if you're not feeling much of a stretch in your hip or in your groin on that right side, start to slide your knee out a little bit more. You're trying to get the eye of the hip bone closer to the floor, okay? Try to relax, though. You don't have to grip and hold on to tension. Soften. If you're still not feeling enough of a stretch, try to straighten into your leg, but then keep your ankle in line with your hip. Again, just allow the muscles to soften and relax a little bit more. Check in with your breath. your breath. Again, just relax.
When you try your best but you don't succeed, when you get what you want but not what you need, when you
We'll go ahead and press back up, hands and knees, tabletop position from here. Let's start to slide the right knee up towards the right wrist. And then you'll start to straighten into your left leg, slide that back. Now you might want a little bit more of a stretch. You can start to walk that right foot over towards the left side of your mat. That's an option if you need a little bit deeper stretch in your hip, but you don't have to. You can always use your left hand to pull it up a little bit more. If there's a lot of space between your right hip and the mat, you can take a block and stuff that under your hip. And then just keep pulling your right hip back. Good. We'll find a little pigeon pose here. Take an inhale, lift up for just a moment through the crown of the head, and then exhale, walk your hands forward. Maybe drop down to your forearms. If you're feeling that stretch, stay here. Okay. If you want to go a little bit more, you can bring your forehead all the way down to the mat, but you can also stack it on your block too. Okay. So again, you're just going to find where it feels most comfortable for you, or you're not straining. You feel like you can relax and soften into this posture, but you still are feeling a stretch. It's just not painful. Make sure you're not letting tension creep into your neck, your jaw, your shoulders, right? Your upper body. Just keep relaxing. Breathe here. Make sure the foot's not falling asleep. If you need to, you can kind of just keep wiggling those toes to keep a little circulation flowing. You can always press up and out so you're not so deep into the posture. You can even stay a little more upright if you need to. Okay? Options to try. You just need to feel a little stretch.
lights will guide you home and ignite your bones. I will try to fix you.
So of course, if pigeon pose feels really good to you and you want to stay, you don't have to move out. Stay a little longer if you want. When you're ready, just start to walk your hands back, press up to the palms of the hands. You're going to lift your left leg back into that tabletop and then just slide your right leg back. But you might want to take your right leg all the way back behind you, straighten the leg, maybe even bend the knee, kind of open the hip a little bit. You can do little circles here. Pull your knee in, out, and around. Right? You can do that a couple times each direction. Take it out and then pull it in and around. Okay? Good. And then we'll release. We'll come back into tabletop. When you're ready, your left leg will extend back behind you just to start. And then you're just going to slide your knee to your wrist. Straighten your right leg back behind you. Maybe walk that left foot over closer to the right. Good. Big inhale. Right? Again, you can place a block under your left hip for that support if it's not ready to come to the floor. And then you can slide down to your forearms or all the way down to your forehead. You can stack forearms and rest your forehead there. You can also use your blocks. Breathe easy here. Soften and relax as much as you can. You can keep your toes a little more tucked under if that feels better in your knee and less in your hip.
Lights will guide you home.
Check in and see where there's physical tension in the body. Where are you gripping and holding on? Where can you release and relax? Let go.
I will try to fix you.
So once again, when you feel balanced on this side with your right side, press back up to the palms of the hands. Start to pull your right knee back in and up. Find tabletop, and then take that left leg back. Maybe bend the knee and circle it in, out and around, or out and around. Either direction first. Just make sure you go both ways. Okay. And then we're going to come all the way down to seated. Swing your legs out in front of you. Just shift and pull the fleshy parts out from the sits bones. Sitting up nice and tall. Go ahead from here. Take your right foot over to the edge of the mat, kind of towards the right corner of your mat, and then bend into your left knee and bring the sole of the foot to the inner thigh. Now, you can use your strap here, right? We have the strap, so we can have that option to use that. If you need it, you can hook that onto the ball of your foot and then start to pull into that. Or you're just going to kind of turn, right? You can reach your arms up if you want, or just keep them out in front of you. Yeah, and then try to fold over that right straight leg. So with or without the strap, definitely your choice. If you have it, you can use it if you feel like you need it. So this is definitely a stretch in your hamstring. So keep your quadricep active. Keep flexing through your foot and squeeze the muscle to the bone. That's going to give you a little bit more length in your hamstring. Try to keep your back nice and long, shoulders away from the ears. Perfect. Next inhale, we're just going to rise back up to seated. Okay. Take your left leg out to the side, bend into your right knee, sole of the foot to the inner thigh. And then wherever you are, you're going to kind of twist towards that straight leg. Again, you can use your strap if you want or not. You can reach your arms up and then fold, or you can keep your hands down and then walk your fingertips forward. Whatever helps you not pull your shoulders up towards your ears, right? But more think about relaxing them down. Sometimes the strap can help with that too. When you feel balanced from side to side, we're going to rise back up to seated. Go ahead, extend both legs straight out in front of you again. Kind of shake that out. And then I want you to take your strap, and we're going to make it into a lasso if you have that, if you're using the strap and you have that option. So you're going to take the end and you're going to go through the two buckles here. Pull it all the way through until there's just about a loop big enough for your foot. So it doesn't have to be a really big loop. And then you're going to just separate the two buckles, take the end of the strap, go over that first buckle and then under and through the second one, kind of like a belt here. You just have to make sure you don't get the strap twisted if you're using that. And then you should have this little. So once you have that ready, ladies are good, right? Take it off to the right side of your mat and then come to lying down on your back. When you first come down to your back, I want you to stretch your spine to get really long. So point your toes and then reach your arms overhead. You can even draw your belly button in a little tiny bit. Yeah. And just feel like you're reaching your fingertips for the wall behind you as you point your toes to the wall in front of you and get really long. Okay. And then we're going to pull the right knee into the chest. Give it a nice little squeeze in. And then we'll just start with that strap onto the ball of the right foot. So hook that loop in there, straighten into your right leg, okay? Maybe you point your toe, maybe you flex your foot. You can play around with that, see what feels better for you. And then just keep relaxing your neck and your shoulders down towards the mat. And then pull that strap a little closer. So you're pulling your leg in a little bit more, just till you feel a stretch, okay? You might feel in your hamstring, you might feel it in your calf, you might feel it in both, just kind of depending on where you feel more tightness. So just focus on getting your leg straight. Don't focus on how close you get it to your face, okay? Make sure you can breathe here. Flex your foot, press your heel up a teeny bit more, okay? Now, I just want you to start to sweep your leg out to the right. Don't roll off of your left hip, okay? So keep both hips still grounded. And then pull it back towards center. Take it into your left hand and just pull it just a little bit. Again, try not to roll off of that hip. Just start to stretch that outer glute on the right side. And then again, so just go a little bit back and forth. You can go at whatever pace you want. You can go nice and slow, or you can go a little more quickly. You decide, right? You won't have to go any further than you need to, so where you feel the stretch. So it'll be on the inside and then on the outside. Yeah, perfect. One more time, each side. Maybe you're noticing you can go a little bit, you're a little more open each time. Maybe, maybe not, okay? Good, and then you'll just come back through center. Go ahead and release the strap. I want you to start to bend your knee. See if you can take your elbow inside your knee and reach up and grab the outside edge of your foot. So you're in this half happy baby, the stirrup pose. If that doesn't feel available to you, just take your hand to your knee and pull your knee towards your armpit. So you're more of making that quadricep parallel to the rib cage. Couple breaths here. Relax your neck and your shoulders. Good. And then go ahead and release. Straighten out into that right leg. Reach your arms overhead again. Point your toes. Does your right leg feel a little longer than your left? Maybe, maybe not. Now we'll pull the left knee into the chest. Keep pulling that knee in. Okay, and then reach for your strap and hook it onto the ball of your left foot. And then lift that left leg up, pull in. You might notice maybe this side feels tighter, maybe it feels more open. There's no right or wrong. Just kind of notice and observe. Maybe you point your toe, you flex your foot, right? If you did that last time, kind of see which one you like better, with the toe pointed or the foot flexed. Where do you feel like you're getting more length in your stretch? Okay. Just hold it in stillness. Relax your shoulders. Just observe and notice where you're feeling the stretch, but make sure you're not clenching and holding on. Okay. And then we'll start to move open out to the left. And then we'll pull it across over towards the right. And just notice, right, how much availability do you have here on this side? You don't have to force it. It doesn't have to look anything like the right side did. You're just going to move in and out wherever you're feeling the stretch. Just breathe through it. You can go nice and slow, hold a little longer, or go with an inhale and an exhale. So definitely your choice. All right, let's make this our last one. Balance out. Perfect. Back through center. Remove the strap. Start to pull your knee in towards your armpit. Maybe take your elbow inside. Reach up, grab the outside edge of your foot for that half happy baby or stirrup pose here on this side. Different side. Remember, you can hold that knee and just pull it towards your armpit. You don't have to lift your heel. Okay? Definitely want to do what works best for you. When you feel balanced, go ahead, start to release that left leg. You can straighten it out. Reach your arms overhead, point your toes. So you get really, really, really long here. And then pull your knees into your chest. A little gentle rock side to side. Okay. Go ahead and bring your feet down to the mat, knees bent. You're going to shift and walk your hips over to the left. Your feet too, a little bit to the left. And then take your arms out T-shape, turn your palms to face up, and then drop your knees to your right side. Now, if you want, take your right hand, push onto that left knee. So you're squeezing your knees a little closer together. Turn your gaze to the left if that feels safe for your neck and it feels like a good stretch. Maybe even soften your eyes to a close if you would like. Just relax. Just breathe. So try not to grip and hold on, right? See if you can soften. Think about space between your hip and your shoulder. Feel like you're getting long in your side body. A couple more breaths here. Relax your shoulders a tiny bit more. And then we'll take a big inhale. We're going to turn the head back to center, lift the knees back up to center, take the arms back out T-shape. Go ahead and shift your hips and your feet over to the right side and then drop your knees to your left side. If you want, left hand to right knee, push and squeeze the knees a little closer together. Keep rolling the shoulders back and down. Maybe turn the gaze to the left. Keep breathing it out, relaxing, softening. Once again, when you feel balanced, side to side, turn your gaze back to center, lift your knees back up, shift your hips back to center, heel toe your feet open as wide as your mat. Again, keeping the knees bent, let the knees fall in and touch. And just begin to find a comfortable, relaxing space here. You can soften your eyes to a close, maybe tuck your shoulder blades under. You can always bring your arms out to the sides with the palms facing up. You can stay here with your knees bent and touching, or you can start to extend your legs out the length of the mat. Let your toes roll out to the sides. Totally soften and relax and just melt. Big inhale, slow exhale. And as you lay here in stillness, just notice your breathing. welcome to stay here in your relaxation. There's no obligation to move out. If you're ready to bring movement back into the body, just start small. Maybe brush your thumb to your fingertips. Maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes, or circle your ankles and your wrist. You can move your head slightly from side to side. Go ahead and bring your feet together. Extend your legs, point your toes, reach your arms overhead, get really long and stretch, and then pull your knees to your chest. Give yourself a great big hug. Maybe you just rock a little side to side. Maybe you rock up and down, whichever feels good for you. You don't have to rock or move at all. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, roll to your side. Tuck your arm under your head for support. Just going to curl up into a little ball here at the side of your mat. Pause here for just a moment. On an inhale, press yourself up to seated to the top of the mat. You can always keep your eyes closed, return them back to close, or just take a soft gaze to the floor if that's more comfortable for you. And then I want you just to bring your hands to your knees with the palms facing down. Lift and lengthen out through the crown of the head. Sit up nice and tall. Just check in. Go from the crown of the head all the way down towards the tips of the toes. See how you feel. Hopefully you feel a little more relaxed. Whether it's in your physical body, mentally you feel more relaxed, maybe it's both. There's no right or wrong. Go ahead and bring your hands together at heart center, tuck your chin, bow your head. Giving yourself gratitude for practicing today, for taking this time for yourself. Go ahead and allow your eyes to softly float open. The light in me, that's the light in you. Namaste.